I made a move without a sound. You see lyrics as my weapons, I'ma spit a couple rounds. I may never know what $1 million brings, but I keep waking up to these $1 million dreams.
Now, this episode is based on fatherhood. You know, it's 3 different types of fathers. You have some full-time fathers, you have part-time fathers, and then you have spurt/absent fathers. Now, for all the full-time fathers, round of applause. I commend all the full-time fathers. Reason being because I'm one. And best believe this is not an easy thing whatsoever. Dealing with attitudes, dealing with, a lot of stress, and then you trying your best not to take it out on your kids. It's not easy, but it takes patience. And for every full-time father that is in their kids' lives, I don't want to say kids, their children's lives, I applaud you. I salute. Because we are needed. Without us, there is no structure in our children's lives. Because we can see how these kids, I want to keep saying kids, I'm sorry. We can see how these children are acting outside. And I'm not the only father that goes into a store or goes into a restaurant and these little bastards acting up and you want to look at it like, hey, you want me to take care of them? Because you can't handle it. I'm sorry, I'll pull out my belt quick and say, I get his ass into him. But we have to stop allowing the relationship that we have with our kids' mothers, our children's mother, stop us from doing what we should be doing. Because as full-time fathers, it doesn't mean that you have custody of your kids. It can mean that you are very great at co-parenting, no matter the relationship that you have with your child's mother, whether y'all together, whether y'all not together. Y'all have a great relationship that you and her are coming together and y'all are giving these kids what they need. 2 parents. That's the thing that we need. We need 2 parents. And I'm talking about cohesiveness. One is on the same page with the other. Because the problem that we have right now as black fathers is that there's a beef between the black father and the black mother. And that beef right there is what is killing these kids. Because you tell your children one thing, she go tell them another thing. So now they playing both sides. And eventually they're going to play another side to somebody else that's going to come in and capture their mindset. They're going to fall victim. Because what they say, when you have 2 versions of parenting, you really have none. And that's what's the problem with a lot of these children out here. Now, I always say, a fatherless son is not as bad as a fatherless daughter. Now, a lot of people might disagree with what I'm saying, but let me explain. That young man, without his father, is still going to grow up and develop into being a young man. And most men are more indicative from the love they get from their mother. That's how we grow, from the love we get from our mothers. We get our discipline and our strength and our structure from our father. But we grow as men off the love of our mother because she teaches us how to look at it from a woman's perspective. That's how we become, I want to say, better men. Because we look at things from not only our perspective, but from a woman's perspective as well. But from a fatherless daughter, they easily fall victim to the streets. And when I say streets, I don't mean, prostitution or anything like that. I mean, they fall victim to a lot of these men that only want them for one thing and one thing only. Now, there are some women that never fell victim. They're the ones who slip through the cracks. That's a slight percentage. But these young women need to be taught the game. They need to understand that, hey, look, I'm a man. When I was your age, this was what I was looking at. This is what I wanted to do. There's no way in hell you can love me at 11, 12, or 13. I ain't got nothing to give you. But just conversation, and we can walk around the park, or we, play around in school. I have nothing to give you for you to honestly sit here and say, I really love you, or you should really love me. Yeah, I say whatever I want to say in order for me to get what I want. And that's just being real. I'll say whatever I want to say. But you can't have your daughter out here clueless and cognizant on what's really. Let me scratch that. You don't want your daughter to be out here searching for the love of a man, and she don't know what real love from a man is, because she's supposed to get that from her father. She was never taught how to love a man, because the man that's supposed to be in her life is not there. And that's what they call it, daddy issues. No woman should be subjected to that. No woman should be subjected to that. Because that is what messes up their mind. That also has a lot of women who didn't have their father in their lives, and they do have daddy issues. They always fall victim to these predators out here. And you have a lot of women who turn lesbian because they fell victim so much they don't trust men at all anymore. And that right there is one of the main reasons why we need to step up and get back into our kids' lives. Now, that part-time father, those are the ones that are the most kind of iffy. Because You want to be a part of your child's life. And you want to do right by your kids. So you're the one who don't care about paying the child support, and you're going back and forth with your mother, your child, about, parenting time, and it's like that's where you see the most stress come out of the kids, because there's a battle right there between the mother and the father, which is forcing him to just say, hey, look, I just give you some money and I don't really want to deal with it. Or this was just only a fling that turned into something they ain't supposed to be. Whatever the situation was, whether she was a fuck buddy gone wrong, or whether she was a little bust down that you just needed a bus in, this child has no bearance on that. And you can give a child all the money in the world, it will never take back the time that you're missing with them. Because they remember the memories. They don't care about the money. And that's one thing we're missing as fathers. They care about the memories. They don't care about the money. Me personally, I've been in my kid's life. My oldest daughter is 14. My middle son is 9. And I have a newborn. Well, technically, it's a little joker. 2 months going on 3 months now. And this little dude here, he don't want to give me no sleep, man. I be about ready to punt this little mom, boy. But love my kids to death. Love him to death, especially him. But I've been in their lives since day one. There's not been a single day outside of me letting them spend the night over their grandma's house or their auntie's house, or every now and then when their mom decides she wants to spend some time with them, that they didn't see dad or talk to dad every single day. I have uncomfortable conversations with my oldest daughter all the time. Reason being because all these laws that's being changed. I talked to her about Roe v. Wade. I had to sit down and talk to her like, look, I can't protect your chastity. I can't walk around with my hand covering your privates to make sure don't nothing get inside of it. I can't do that. You're a young woman, and it's time for you to start thinking, moving, and acting like a young woman. Had to let her know it's going to be a lot of dudes that's going to be in your face. And how many fathers, full-time fathers, talk to their daughters and they say, ooh, I don't even like boys. Oh, I don't even care about boys. Bullshit. They'll tell you anything. And I tell my daughter right in her face, look, you say that you don't like boys. You say you're not thinking about boys right now. But I guarantee you there's a boy that you got your eye on. And there's a boy that's going to catch your eye quick. And he's going to turn your nose up and have you doing a bunch of shit that you don't usually do. But this is what dad is going to tell you right now. I did the same shit. I'm going to tell you you're beautiful. I'm going to tell you I'm going to give you the world. I'm going to tell you I love you. I'm going to tell you that you are special to get what I want from you. Because as of right now, there's nothing that young man can do for you that you can honestly say, yeah, I really love this dude. Because these little these little Negroes are lazy. They don't want to put in no effort. They don't want to put in no work. They want it easy. And the easy way to get it is to tell you what you want to hear. See, when I was in high school, even before then, when I saw snow outside, I saw $300 a day that snows down. When I saw leaves outside in the fall, I saw $200 a day. So that the young woman that I have my eyes on, I can at least take her to a movie. I can at least buy her some, some cheese, chips, and what I'm saying, some. They call it walking nachos. Now, never heard of it. We called it chips, cheese, and meat. That's what we called it. We're gonna go to the corner store. At least I was able to provide something to keep her attention towards me. These little motherfuckers don't even wash their ass. And you walking around smelling they funky ass all day. And they want you to come in and be their girlfriend. That's part of the conversation that I have to have with mine. Because I had to let her know Roe v. Wade is overturned in a lot of places. Now, you could still, in Illinois, go through the proper channels to have an abortion. But I'd rather you think twice. Think about your future before you start thinking about any form of love or intercourse from anyone that's not your family. Well, the intercourse better not be your fucking family. But the love aspect from anyone but your family. It's okay to have friends right now. It's okay. But as far as intimate, that's something that should not be on your mind because you have a bigger goal in life. And most of these young women don't pass high school because they done had 2 to 3 babies. So they just drop out. And that's one thing I don't want to see my child go through. Now, I have seen a few women walk across that stage in high school that had 2 to 3 babies in high school. And that was an amazing thing to see, but that's a small percentage. Most of them don't make it. They don't. And us as fathers having those uncomfortable conversations with our daughters, they begin to understand where we're coming from. Me and my lady, we talk to our girls. My lady has a 15-year-old daughter. And everything she say, I back it. So she's getting everything from the male and female perspective. And her father, who's a full-time father, salute to that man, he's backing everything we're saying as well. So she's getting it from the best of all worlds. So they can understand, like, hey, this is something you don't want to focus in. Because I don't want to see you out here giving away your prized possession to someone who don't even give a damn about you. To somebody who's going to forget your name the very next week. That's not where your focus need to be. That's not where your attention need to be. Yeah, you're going to like some boys. Yeah, you're going to talk to them. Yeah, you're going to give them your number. Yes. But there's a time and a place for everything. And right now it's not the time. And that's what I do with my daughter and my stepdaughter as well. And that's the reason why I say fatherless daughters are worse. worse off. Because they're going to seek that male attention. They're going to crave it. They should already have it already. And that's where a lot of those young women fall victim. Now, I don't want to say, that even though I said a fatherless son is not detrimental, it is. It is. Because just like I said before, these little moms don't even wash their ass. They don't know simple functions. They don't even know how to really wine and dine a woman. Like before my son was born, me and my lady, we was walking around the track at the park, and I'm just hearing these I'm sorry, I don't want to cuss. I was hearing these young children and some of these young adults that was with these young children. All they was talking about was fucking. Oh, you ain't getting no ass. Nah, you ain't getting no ass. Shorty, I'll put my dick all up in you. Little kids and young adults. This is how they're talking. This is how they're acting. And that right there lets me know these kids are just getting sexually active younger and younger and younger. Because they don't have structure. Now my son, he's 9 years old. I have to tell him multiple times to make sure every morning you get up, you brush your teeth, you wash your face, you wash your ass, and you get on up out of here. It's every day. Is it annoying? Yes, it is. Should he already pick up on it and do what I ask him to do without telling him? Yes, it's annoying. But I'm going to tell him every single day until it clicks. You cannot walk out the crib smelling funky and having bad breath. Because no woman is going to want to talk to you if you stink. Especially your breath. You have bad teeth. They don't want you. Why would they want you? That's why I instill into him every day. And he has visuals. He's seen me bring my lady flowers. He has seen me go to the store and bring my lady whatever she asks for. Because I have to show him that in order for you to get what you want from a woman, you have to do what they need. You can't come in empty-handed and expect your woman to give you something. You have to be a provider. And one of the problems I'm seeing with fatherless sons is they don't know how to be providers. A lot of these little young men and a lot of these grown men that grew up without their fathers in their lives are trying to live off their women. And then they're teaching their kids, if they are in their children's lives, the wrong nature. Because his son is going to see you living off his mom, and he's going to want to live off his woman. It's a chain reaction. So it is a detriment to having a son growing up without a father. It is a detriment because you're going to lack that structure. But at the end of the day, you're still going to grow up and be a man. At the end of the day. Because there's no excuses for us as men. There is no excuses. We're the most disrespected species on this planet. When you walk out here in this world, the first thing I'm gonna say is, you was a man, figure it out. Women can walk out here and go through thousands of different programs, some of them for free. But we don't have too many programs we can go through. We don't have a lot of proper channels we can go through. They gave women the welfare system to keep us out of the household. So we are already behind the eight ball. And they put in so many things in law to try to keep us out of our children's lives. But that doesn't mean we fall victim to those laws and not be a part of our children's lives. Because our young son needs to understand that you are a man. You are not 3/4 of that person that they said we was back during the slavery days, back through Jim Crow. You are not that person. You can actually be somebody and make a change in this world. And a lot of these young men don't have that either. That's why we need to step up. We need to be right there in the forefronts, making sure that we are the sacrificial lamb to make sure that our young men and young women grow to fruition. Now, I don't want to hear about these kids are in the streets, they're gangbangers, they're this. I know kids who have their mother and father in their lives, and they still fall victim to being gangbangers and being part of these streets because the people they hang with. And as parents, you have to know who these people, your kids, hang with. It's a father's job to teach your kids how to be leaders, because we're supposed to be leaders of our household. If we're not together with the mother, you still have to be the leader of a household. So when they're with you, they see that you have structure, you have balance, and you are leading something. And without us, these kids are victims of being followers. Yes, the mother can teach your child how to be a leader. They can. But not in that same aspect as a man can. So that's the reason why we have to be right there in the forefront. We supposed to sacrifice our lives to better our children. You don't sacrifice theirs to better yours. And that's what a lot of these fathers are doing. Now, the absent / iffy fathers, I wish y'all go away. I'm just going to be honest with you. It'd be best for you just not even be a part of the kids' lives at all. Because you come in when you feel like it, and then you always come in blaming somebody else for the reason why you're not there. Just stay away. Just stay away. Because you are part of the major problem. You're giving kids false hope instead of giving them straight direction. And you directing these kids into the streets. It's crazy because I was talking to my lady and she was telling me I'd rather have a full-time father or no father at all. And I was like, whew, sheesh. It kind of took me back, but then when you actually think about it, it's more detrimental to a child's mental stability to have a parent that only comes in when they choose to come in, and then they try to insert their dominance in their lives, and you're not really doing nothing for them. And then as a kid, you're like, you know what, that's my dad. I have to respect him, but you're not finna continue to keep coming in trying to tell me and what to do and how to live my life if you're not in my life on a consistent basis. That can turn into a form of hatred that the other parent has to deal with. And I don't know about y'all. It's hard for me to sit back and watch my daughter live without me. Because I don't see how you do it. Those memories are the best memories in the world. Seeing my kid being born, seeing my kid take his first step, seeing my kid say their first words, the first day of school. Those are the memories that you should cherish those. So when you leave this earth, you could say you was there for your kid every step of the way. And I'm talking about really being there, not just going to the ceremonies and then turn around and going home while the mother of your children have to go and celebrate with the kid. Because like I said before, you can give these kids money, but it ain't going to amount to the memories that they're going to have. It's not going to help them mentally. It's not going to give them structure. All they're going to do is take that money and go blow it on some shit that they don't need. And these kids are miles out here today. These little fuckers are disrespectful. Disrespectful. And that's where we need to be there to check that. And that's the problem. We're not there to check it. Now, there's going to be a lot of people that's going to be saying, well, there's deadbeat mothers out there too. Yeah, it is. It's a lot of them. But this segment isn't about that. That's a topic for another day. And I'm just today stressing the importance on being a father and why we are needed and why we should be here in our children's lives. Because these kids out here, I'm not saying women are doing a bad job. I'm not saying that at all. It's just when you're not in your kids' lives, shit, hell, even a part-time father, when you're not in your kids' lives, it's more stress on the mother. They have to live their lives based around the kids' schedules. And they have to go out and find people to watch their kids. Boy, they might still be at work until you come home from work. And then you have the older kids watching the younger kids. Even though we did that back in our day, it's not their jobs to do that. They're not the parents. They still have their lives. They still got their homework to do. They still got things that they need to do. And we shouldn't take advantage of the things that we did when we were kids. Well, younger adults, for our siblings. We shouldn't have to do that exact same cycle. Because you talk to a lot of younger kids, I put my life on hold to help raise my younger siblings. That's a form of hate. And you don't want your kids to feel that form of hatred. If you have kids, step up, do your job. Maybe we can help fix some of this bull crap that we seeing. But it's just my unpopular opinion. So hopefully this get through to some people. Hopefully. But if not, we still have ways to go. And it's all going to start by us stepping up and doing what we're supposed to do as fathers. Because we are the structure. We set the standard. And if there is no standards, then there is no hope. Do what you're supposed to do. That's it. That's all. So, this is another episode of Top Prize Entertainment. I want to thank you for consistently looking at my content. You know, every day I see my views grow and grow and grow. And I'm hoping that we can get a lot more views, a lot more comments, a lot more likes, a lot more shares to just get these messages out. Like I said, if you disagree with what I'm saying, I'm always here for a debate. Me, I don't argue, I debate. You know. But this right here is a non-debatable subject. Black fathers need to be in their black children's lives. Just as simple as that. Check us out for another episode that will be dropping pretty soon. Like I said, subscribe. And I'll be back at it. Thank you.